Thomas and I are in the kitchen, whom you all know from Kitchen Conundrums and from all the other things that he works on with me, including Martha Bakes, and this is our 6th season.
Yes,
can you believe it?
That's exciting.
It's in the edit room right now. It starts, is it next week?
This weekend.
This weekend, yeah. Oh, I'm so excited. I'll be in Charleston this weekend at the Volvo Family Circle Classic Tennis Tournament, and I'm very excited about going down there, but I am going to find PBS somewhere on that in Charleston, and I'm going to watch my first episode of Martha Bakes. And today, in celebration of the 6th season, Thomas and I decided we'd show you 2 of the many recipes that we've done over the last 6 seasons of Martha Bakes. We've had over 313 recipes, and these are all extraordinarily delicious recipes, savory and sweet, that will really enhance your baking skills, make your families really happy, make your guests delighted. And today these are 2 things. One's for the family, and this is the kitchen sink cookie. This gorgeous cookie that has pretty much everything but the kitchen sink in it. And it is I think is my favorite cookie now. And one cookie should last you at least a week if you're on a diet. But
maybe a day.
Okay.
If you really want to indulge.
That's a lot of cookie.
It is.
But it is a delicious cookie. You'll see how nice the ingredients are when we start baking it. And we're also going to be making chocolate's nice and soft.
Yeah.
We're also going to be making a Atlantic
Beach Tart.
Yeah, I forget the beach part. Atlantic Beach Tart. I made 5 of them for Easter. Not a crumb was left. I hope people took it home, but I think they ate it. It's a fantastic, and it's a secret crust that you can make in a few minutes. Now, I made 5 of them. It took me no time whatsoever to make these. The only thing I forgot, mise en place is very important when you're baking or pretty much doing any cooking. A mise en place means put everything out in place so that you know you have it. I had no condensed milk.
Well, that's important.
I know, it's like the main ingredients of the Atlantic Beach pie, so I had no, and I actually also was short on the saltines for 5 of the tarts, but I sent somebody down to the store. I had somebody go down to the store. Where I live, going to the store means, 20 minutes one way, at least 20 minutes back, parking, going into the store. So it's better if you know and you've done all your shopping. And I had done all my shopping the day before. I did on Friday of Easter weekend, so I should have had everything.
I'm surprised you didn't have it because it's one of your favorite things, right?
I thought condensed milk, sweetened condensed milk, I have it.
Yeah.
So that's why I didn't even put it on the list. But I had forgotten to check. And I think the last time you were up with the gang doing Atlantic Beach Pie for the show, I think it was all used up. I had 1 little can, but I needed 3 because I'm making triple recipe. So let's start with the cookie. This kitchen sink cookie is an adaptation of a recipe that we had tasted from one of our contributors on the TV show originally. And we've added things to it. We have unsalted butter, and we're going to make 1 recipe. It makes 8 of these giant cookies, and we like to use the best butter that we can possibly find. And butter, and when you're baking, room temperature ingredients really makes everything mix well together. This is my favorite new butter, Kerrygold.
Yeah, no, it's great.
I love Kerrygold butter, and look at the color. It is beautiful, and it is from cows that are raised on grass.
Yes.
And we did a lot of research with Kerrygold, and this is just a delicious, this is unsalted butter. It also comes like this, salted. And this is a ½ pound. Yes, 8 ounces.
Yep.
½ pound. And again, this is great just as on sandwiches, on croissant. Do you put butter on your croissant?
Yes.
Yes, I do too. I always ask people if they put butter on, but I'd rather have butter on a croissant than jam.
Yes.
So we'll use our handy stand mixer, and we'll put in the 2 sticks or 1 cup or ½ a pound of butter.
Martha, we already have some questions from the audience.
Great.
So if you don't have a stand mixer, can you do it by hand?
Do you have nice biceps? If you have nice biceps and a big bowl and big wooden spoon and big rubber scraper, yes, of course you can do it by hand. How did Grandma make these cookies? Grandma made them, and she. We need sugar. We have. I on purpose left our canisters. So we need regular granulated sugar. And Domino is my choice. And and by the way, did you know that C&H is the Domino brand west of the Mississippi?
Oh, it's the West Coast brand.
Yeah, C&H. So, and I do keep a lot of sugar and baking ingredients on hand at home, as well as here's a scissor for you if you need it.
Maybe for this guy.
Okay. But I'm going to need 3/4 of a cup of granulated sugar, right?
Yep, and light brown sugar.
Oh, okay.
This cookie is really great because it uses the two different kinds of sugar, which the brown sugar gives you that chewiness that you have.
Yeah, and
in
the moist too. So I always decant my dry ingredients. I have my flour, my oats, and everything's in jars. It's so much easier to dip into a jar. You're not going to spill. You're not going to get grains of sugar all over your kitchen. So just dump it into a big canister like this. These are readily available in most hardware stores, also in cooking supply stores.
Yeah.
And so that's a 4-pound bag.
Yeah.
It used to be 5 pounds, but I think they found that 5 pounds was too big.
Yeah.
So 4 pounds of sugar. So we need 3/4 of a cup.
Yeah, 3/4 of a cup of granulated sugar.
So that's 3 times the 1/4 of a cup. And just the brown sugar, 3/4 of a cup of that too?
Equal parts, yep.
Okay. Cool.
Are you using light or dark brown sugar?
I'm using light brown sugar. And
light?
if you use a dark brown, it just gets more molassesy flavored. And light brown is plenty brown enough for this cookie. And brown sugar, you always pack into the measure. So that's 1. And again, another 1. Now, I hope people know that, brown sugar kind of hardens really quickly if left out to the elements. So even if I just cover this, it will really lose its moisture. So you can put in a piece of apple right into the covered dish, or you can do a piece of white bread.
Yeah. And I didn't know about this until you taught me about the bread, wrapping it in cheesecloth so that when it dries out, no crumbs get mixed into
So why don't you wrap that? That's not wrapped really.
Nope. Yeah.
Yeah, show how we're wrapping the bread. It's just a piece of bread.
Yeah.
Just like that.
And you just want to make sure it's covered because this does dry out and harden over time because the brown sugar absorbs the moisture from the bread to stay nice and soft. And this way, no crumbs get into your brown sugar.
Right. And that will now keep your sugar nice and moist and ready to use. And these sealed storage containers, Pirates, so good. This is the Martha Stewart collection at Macy's. I love these. And I use a lot of these, and they stack nicely too.
For nuts, for a lot of other ingredients.
Really.
If you have hardened brown sugar, what's the best way to soften it?
You can put it into the microwave for a few seconds, and that will help soften it. You can. That's the best way.
Yeah. Sometimes I'll even put a tiny little glass bowl of water alongside of it and turn the microwave on so some of that humidity softens it.
Good.
You don't want to notice the bread get moldy.
No, not really.
Because it dries out.
Yeah.
All of that moisture kind of dries it out, so it doesn't get moldy.
And so 2 eggs.
2. Yep. Beautiful large eggs.
Oh, so beautiful. And I just brought these eggs in yesterday from. Oh, by the way, we are in one of our Home Depot kitchens. This is the Martha Stewart design kitchen for the Home Depot. I don't think enough people know that we have some of the very, very best kitchen designs in America at the Home Depot. We have a beautiful catalog, and I would really like you to realize that we have them. If you're thinking on redoing your kitchen, adding to your kitchen, just go straight to your local Home Depot and ask to see my catalog. Really beautiful kitchen. And this one's about 4 years old now, and it is, or 5 years old.
Older. No, this is from our live studio. Do you remember?
How many years ago was that? See, I thought that was yesterday.
That was,
Doesn't it
this
seem
was probably
like yesterday?
6 or 7 years ago,
Oh.
right?
And this is still in our line. This kitchen is still in our line, but it is fantastic. And, oh, look, 2 eggs very nicely and getting incorporated into our sugar and butter.
How long do you clean for?
Until everything's well incorporated. And then always turn your mixer off. Is that a question? Or is that your question?
My question.
We have Marcy here, who is our social media guru. And she fields all your questions. So feel free to ask questions, because the beauty of Facebook Live is that you can ask live questions instantaneous.
We actually have a question from Cassandra, who said, like, never get my butter to be that soft. How do you get it to be that soft? She leaves hers out for 10 hours.
10 hours? Well, do you live in the
Antarctica?
Arctic? You must live in the Arctic. I like to taste this. Do you like to taste that?
Yeah. Well, I like it when you add the vanilla.
I love it.
Someone was actually asking the type of vanilla you use, because they think it makes or breaks the recipe.
It certainly does. And buy imported pure vanilla. This one happens to be Nielsen Massey. You can see it on the jar. I buy large jars like this because I use a lot of vanilla. I do a lot of baking. But McCormick's makes a very good vanilla also. This is Madagascar.
Right.
Oh, and it has a little bourbon in it, they say. But
Yeah.
is it really bourbon in
Well,
there?
that's I think the liquid. I mean, the alcohol.
I could just go to sleep with this. It's so good.
But there are lots of different. I mean, there's Tahitian vanilla, right?
Yes.
I don't really like
And
the
there is
Mexican vanilla very much.
vanilla in my greenhouse. I'm getting my
Oh, you
first
are?
vanilla orchid.
Oh, you should have brought that in.
No, it's too delicate.
Oh.
I'm not going to take it out in this freezing cold weather. We're experiencing a cold wave here in New York. It was 28 degrees at the farm this morning. My peacocks are not happy. The 2 of them are living in a corn crib, open corn crib, and they're not happy, even though I have heat lamps in there. Okay, now we have to sift the flour. Oh, flour.
Yep.
Okay. So we need all-purpose. Now, Bob's Red Mill. Do you know Bob? He's come to our studio here and to our offices with his whole little
That's
gang.
Bob.
I know. It looks just like him. Look.
This
And
guy.
he wears that little hat. What do you call those hats?
They're like train hats, right?
Or golfers'
Yeah.
hats too. Yeah, like golfers wear hats like that. And he comes and visits, and he's a delightful man. And they have made grains, American-grown grains, into the best ingredients. So these are pure and beautiful, and this is unbleached white flour, which I adore, and I use it pretty much exclusively in my baking. And this is all-purpose unbleached white flour. And it says right here, America's best baking flour. So if Bob tells you it's the best, you can be pretty sure it's the best. So
I have a great question from Tasha, who wants to know, does making cookies in a glass versus metal bowl make a difference in your mixing bowl?
no, it does not. It's only so that you can see what's going on, Keisha. That's why we have the glass bowls, which I like. I think they're very handy to make visible the process.
Yeah.
So 2 cups of flour. What else?
We need leavening.
Oh, yeah, that can go away.
All right.
What kind of leavening do we need? Oh, baking powder.
And
So we need how much baking powder?
Just a half a teaspoon.
Okay, half a teaspoon of baking. Not so much baking powder.
No, but I thought, Martha, we could show your tip for making sure that your baking powder is fresh.
Well, okay, so just put it in a little bit, put a little bit in water and watch it fizz. See it fizzing? That means it's okay to use. People, so many times, if you're not a baker, a regular baker, you'll have baking powder. You might have it for 5 years, and it does lose its potency. It does lose its strength. And so you should really make sure that you test it like that. And what about baking soda? This is another thing. Is it at half a teaspoon?
We need a teaspoon of baking
a whole
soda.
Teaspoon. Okay, well, here's a teaspoon. A teaspoon of salt, and I use kosher salt, and a whole teaspoon of baking soda.
So I think it wants to know, is it true that room temperature ingredients are the best for baking?
Yeah, you should really keep your ingredients at room temperature for baking. Bring everything to room temperature. Now here, testing the efficacy of your baking soda. This is vinegar. Look at that. So that's alive and well also. Although, since baking soda is really a mineral that's ground up, a pure mineral, it is not going to, it's not going to get impotent.
No.
Or impotent. Impotent.
I
think the word impotent is better. So it is sodium bicarbonate. That's what baking soda is. And
but Marcy, to go back to your question, with cookies and cakes, it's very important to have room temperature ingredients. But one of our favorite things, pie crust, right? Or tart doughs, it's kind of the opposite of that.
Yes.
You want cold ingredients.
Pastry is make it cold, bake it hot. Cookies and cakes, make it room temperature, bake it according to directions. Okay, so now I'm just adding my dry ingredients.
So actually, Jenny wants to know, the vanilla orchids, do they actually produce vanilla beans, or do they just smell like vanilla?
No, they produce flowers that make, that the seed pods are the vanilla beans. Now, I don't know if I'm going to get anything that tastes like Tahitian or Madagascar vanilla beans, but I'm trying. And I got the plants at one of my favorite greenhouses, Logie's, up in, I think it's Chester, Connecticut. A beautiful, beautiful greenhouse. They're online. They have many rare and exotic plants at Logie's. Okay, so I'm adding the dry ingredients, and then I have to add my
all of the good stuff.
Okay, so 1.5 cups of old-fashioned rolled oats. Don't use Irish oats that are not rolled, because you'll have cookies that break your teeth. I did that once. Oh, I'm so stupid. I don't know how I managed to do that. So 1.5 cups. Now this too could be decanted into a jar. We just ran out of jars. So it's a 1/2 cup plus a cup. And you see, by now your arms, you without the stand mixer, you know, you're on special now in many of the stores. These are on special for, you know, don't buy that pocketbook that you had your eye on. You know, that handbag. Buy one of these. It will make your life so much easier, and nobody needs pocketbooks. Right?
No, I mean, I don't.
Huh?
I'd rather have a KitchenAid mixer.
Oh, me too.
Question going back to the baking powder and baking soda. What is the difference?
Oh, well, baking powder is a leavening agent. And baking soda is you add it to anything that has a little bit of acidity in it, it is because we have berries and we have apricots, which are acid. That's why we're adding to this particular recipe. If I were adding buttermilk, I would add baking soda also. It is any clarity there?
Well, baking powder is really interesting. Most often it's double acting, so that means that it acts twice. So once with heat, so in the oven, and then once when it's mixed with a liquid or something with moisture. So you get 2 times the leavening in the whole process of making the recipe. It's really interesting, leaveners.
Okay, so you want me to add those other things?
Yeah.
So now on low speed, add, look at those gorgeous apricots. So is that a cup?
Yes, it's a cup of all of the...
A cup of dried cherries. You could substitute dried cranberries, dried blueberries. You could do prunes. I like prunes in the cookies. Oh, don't you love this? Look at this great little breadboard that has all these little cups on it. It's so pretty. And that's from our collection at Macy's also. This is 1 cup of coconut chips, 1 cup of toasted pecans coarsely chopped. Now you can hear our mixer straining a little bit, so just scrape down. And I'm adding the chocolate bits. There's not really bits, those are called...
These are febs.
Febs, yeah. I love them. Is this milk chocolate?
No, this is actually, it's a dark chocolate. It's 61%, so...
Oh, it's sort of semi-sweet.
Yeah.
It's so good. I could eat just a glob of this and be happy.
The batter?
Yes.
Yeah, that's the best part.
It's so good. But the cookies are really good, too, so now mix that up. And then add your febs. There. Okay, that whole thing of things is gone. Okay, so rather than strain the mixer, because this is a big, heavy dough, you can finish the last couple stirs by hand. Now, if your children say, Mom, why don't you bake cookies for us? Why don't you ever do anything for us? Look how easy it is to make these. This is such an easy dough. And these cookies actually freeze fantastically. After you bake them, wrap them really, really well in a plastic wrap and then put them inside a sealed plastic bag. And you have, or you can even do one of those Pyrex tight sealed jars and put them in the freezer to thaw them. Just, oh, here, you can take that.
So Janet was asking, it seems you're mixing a long time. Does that affect the gluten in a bad way?
No, it does not affect the gluten, really. This is, I did not overmix this at all. I mean, it might seem like a long time to you, but really that was like a minute or two at the most. Mm-hmm. But a lot of people now are mixing their batters today and baking tomorrow. And that's a good thing to do because the flavors then really get distributed throughout the dough. Mm-hmm.
They call it aging the cookies,
yeah,
so it really gives a depth of flavor to the cookies, and all of the moisture from some of the ingredients mixes with the flour, and it gives a better texture too.
And rests everything. But but these also can be baked immediately, which we're going to do because we want to show you what they look like.
Dee wants to know, Dee from Florida wants to know, what is your favorite cookie?
Of all time?
Of all time.
Well, this is getting to be 2 on a sheet.
Yes, 2 on a sheet because these do spread.
Oh,
so
okay.
This is a 3/4 cup scoop almost. So it's a big quantity of batter.
So you're going to have to invest in a variety of scoops. Buy good quality scoops and buy all different sizes, and just keep them in your kitchen drawer, in your scoop drawer. And once you put in a new Martha kitchen, you will have so many wonderful drawers for all kinds of things. And here's...
Is this a crisp or a soft cookie?
This is a semi-soft cookie.
What makes it crispy versus soft?
Well, the way it's baked, and the oatmeal, and
the sugar.
And the sugar.
And the eggs. All of the components.
But look how neatly it scoops out, and all the cookies will be of uniform size. That's the beauty of using an ice cream scoop like this. And there's no need to really even press this down. You can just use it as it comes out of this, bake it as it comes out of the scoop. I'm going to have one other cookie. What am I going to do?
Do I put one here? Yeah, let's sneak another one on.
And for these ingredients, you can substitute other things like pecans, or maybe pecans.
Oh, all different. Yes, you can add different nuts. You can add different chocolates. You can make this with milk chocolate, with the semi-sweet chocolate. You can use chocolate chips if you don't have these fevs. And I like to use the very, very best ingredients, of course. That's why I'm using that Kerrygold butter, Bob's Red Mill flour. So there are reasons why we use what we use. Is that going to be okay?
Yeah.
And not for these cookies, but Tisha wants to know, when is it okay to use applesauce?
Tisha's really watching.
Oil. I know.
Hi, Tisha. You're doing a great job. You are very good.
She's a good student. She wants
yes,
to
but I forgot her question. What is it?
When is it okay to use applesauce in place of oil?
You have to experiment. I'm not going to guarantee that this recipe will work with applesauce. I bet it would.
It would. I mean, it would probably change it slightly.
But that's for a vegan cookie.
Well, and then you would need to the butter. You'd have to figure that out too. Okay.
My rags, have you all adopted the wet bar cloths for your... I just saw a whole pile of these at one of the big discount stores. I bought, I think, 144 more, a whole gross of these.
No, these are great.
Yeah, these are so great. Keep them moist on your kitchen counter. You avoid the waste of paper towels, of dish towels, okay? So
Joanne wants to know, is sieving the flour required for cookies, or is it only for cake?
is what?
Sieving.
Oh, sifting.
Sieving.
Sifting the flour. No, you should sift your flour for everything that you make, or at least aerate it with a wire whisk, the way I just did. It's important, and make sure that you break up any little unwanted lumps, any compressed ingredients. So it's good, and you're really mixing all the dry ingredients together so that they're evenly distributed. You don't want to have one cookie that's completely flat because it didn't get any baking powder. It's those cookies, and that's it. How long did they bake?
16 minutes.
Okay.
At 350.
So like magic, where's the other two? Made 8. That's
well, it makes 8 to 10.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I'll show you what it looks like. This is, so I would say that's a firm cookie. See, you can hear it. But then when you break it, it's moist.
Look at the chocolate.
It's chewy. It's really delicious. Here's a piece for you.
Thank you.
And a piece for me. What's that? Is that apricot? I guess that's apricot. Oh, you can use citron. You could use Christmas dried fruits.
My dad would love that.
You could use shredded coconut instead of flaked coconut. And it's not too sweet.
No, it's so good.
It really is good.
It's really rich.
A smaller version of the cookie.
Why would you want to?
Yeah.
Vanessa them.
You can make half the size.
Can you imagine sending these to school with kids? I mean, like, you'd be...
Well, except you can't because they have nuts in them, and you can't do this, and you can't do that. And I've learned all of this now having 2 grandchildren. You can't do anything.
Yeah.
You have to be really, really careful. So keep them at home. Feed them to your kids' friends at home. Unless they have nut allergies, of course. Oh, so good.
Delicious. All right. I'm going to take these.
I wish I could share them with all of you, but now we're going to make the Atlantic Beach pie with a secret crust. And you'll never guess what's in the crust. It's so fun. Get all that chocolate off me. So Atlantic Beach pie was created, what's the guy's name?
His name's Bill.
Bill. Yeah, Bill. And Atlantic Beach is Atlantic Beach where?
Well, the restaurant that I believe created it or made it famous is in Chapel Hill, North Carolina. Delicious.
So are we going to make it back here? Oh, good. So the secret ingredient for the crust is my favorite cracker. Well, one of my 2 favorite crackers. I like Ritz crackers and I like saltines. Do you like your favorite crackers?
I like Ritz. I mean, for savory applications, I really like Ritz crackers.
The saltines are so good.
And they're great as the crust here.
You know what they're really good with? Kerrygold butter. These
healthy
Ritz,
snacks.
Yeah. This is so good. That is my favorite cracker. And maybe even a piece of cheese. Want to get me a cheddar cheese? Kerrygold also makes really good cheese. And I was just showing that we have a bunch of it in the fridge. So good. Yeah, bring a knife. So a scant sleeve of saltines. What is that? So I could eat a couple.
Yep. There you go.
You want a little butter on yours?
Sure.
Oh, give me a little piece of cheese. I want the reserve cheddar.
All right.
It comes in Barney Castle, Dubliner. These are all very, very good. And Judy Truman, I had this at home, the Kerrygold.
Yeah.
They ate like a whole square. They love cheese so much. Oh, thanks.
It's also good cheese to bake with too, because it has a low moisture content.
Yeah, it does, and it melts beautifully and not and sort of like consistently. I'm getting crumbs all over my new blouse. That's. Do you want one of these?
Sure. It's lunchtime, snack time.
It is, you know. It's like I'm stealing the butter from the crust. We might have to supplement. But isn't that nice? I mean, that's really good.
How could it be bad?
Oh, God, so good.
Can
Butter,
I go back
cheese.
to a flour question?
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
As I'm getting hungry. Tracy wants to know, why do some cakes call for cake flour and some regular flour, and which is best to use?
Okay, some cakes call for cake flour because they want to be lighter, airier cakes. And cake flour is on the verge of being 0-0 flour.
Yeah,
it's lighter. Some cake flours have cornstarch incorporated into the finely ground flour. They also sometimes have leavening. So if your recipe says let's say self-rising. If it says self-rising, be careful that you don't add other leavening agents to your cakes.
Yeah.
The saltines,
yep.
I just sort of crumble them into our food processor. This is the crust. This is a press-in magic crust. Sort of like making a chocolate wafer crust.
Yeah, or graham cracker crust.
A graham cracker crust.
Similar, yeah.
A Ritz cracker crust. So good. I just saw something with Ritz crackers, like a cheesy tart would be good with Ritz crackers.
So Mary wants to know, what should any non-baker know when attempting to bake for the first time? Baking tips 101. I'm going to give one tip.
One tip, have all your ingredients assembled before you turn your oven on. And then don't forget to turn your oven on when you start to mix the ingredients together.
Preheat, yeah.
Preheat. So now we have, is it 8? Is one stick?
It's one stick,
okay.
Yep.
One stick to a scant sleeve. Now, scant sleeve means how many saltines?
I counted them. It's about 39.
Okay, so the recipe that I used, because I forgot where I put our recipe, so I went online and got the original Atlantic Beach pie. It said to use 60 crackers.
Oh.
So I had very dry, crumbly crust.
Oh, okay. No.
Not
39 crackers and a stick of butter.
Okay.
That'll do you.
And a quarter of a cup of sugar. This is your crust. Nothing else. No salt, no eggs, no nothing. And grind it up pretty fine. I'm pulsing. It might be annoying to you to watch pulsing going on, but it actually moves the ingredients around enough so that I think,
yeah,
almost.
I think another good answer to that question about like baking 101, what do you need? I think you really do need to invest in good equipment too, right?
A good oven.
Yeah. Measuring cups and spoons.
Just go to Macy's. Go to the Martha Stewart collection wall. No, I'm serious because we have everything you need on one wall at the nice sized Macy's, and so we're using a.
Do you bake with a convention oven?
I do, but here at the magazine we usually use a non-convection oven, so that and because you have to adjust with a convection, it's about 10% less time and less temperature.
Yeah.
So a removable bottom. Boy, we have a brand new one for this demo.
This is a 9-inch fluted tart pan with a removable bottom.
Oh, very nice.
If you don't have that type of pan, what else could you use?
Glass pie plate works perfectly.
Yeah. Isn't that what you use for Easter?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did it all in pie plates. No, I take that back. I did some in pie plates and some in tart shells. I had so many crusts left over because I was using 90, and 60, 180 crackers. So it did not hold together like this. This is so much better.
So I have two important questions.
They were still good.
And they're partly my questions too, but Shannon wants to know, do you prefer weighing ingredients for baking rather than volume measurement?
Oh, well, most American recipes are volume measured. And so you really have to just stick with the volume. But in European recipes, it's all done with weight. And I have scales that are readily available in my kitchen in case we have to go there. I also use scales to determine quantity. If I'm making 4 times a cake recipe, I'll use a scale with the cake pan so that I get exact amounts in each pan. So the scales come in very handy.
And the other question from Victoria, does it make any difference if you bake your cookies on a sheet pan or a flat cookie sheet?
Like what we just did, the flat cookie sheet?
Flat versus the cake pan.
Well, they spread, right?
Yeah, they spread, and so why don't you show what they look like in the oven?
I should rotate them now. About halfway, so.
Yeah, see, they're spreading out.
They're getting nice brown color.
So Kate wants to know, she obviously was watching 2 weeks ago, what was your surprise Easter basket this year from Kevin?
Oh, so beautiful. It was #1 picture on my blog, the Martha blog. I think that was on just last week. Look at my blog. It was all green with white porcelain rabbits. Oh, it was a beautiful, beautiful basket, which I don't even have to take apart for storage, and I will have it again next year. But please look at the blog, because, oh, it was so much fun. We had a great buffet, and a great crowd. About 55 people came. My friend Terry...
What was it supposed to start with, the number?
I promised my daughter that I would have no more than 16 people. But then friends called, and friends asked if they could bring somebody, and Blake Lively came with her mother-in-law, and Ryan was homesick. He said he didn't want to spread his germs, but the baby's so cute. Oh, a beautiful little baby girl named James. The Rips came with their gorgeous daughter, Nicolaya, who's written her first book at 16 years old. It'll be published this fall.
Oh, great.
Nicolaya Rips. So it's about growing up in New York City, the coming of age, the new book. I haven't read it yet, so I can't remark. But So notice how I'm making the crust. Oh, Joel Gray came. Oh, Joel. The Rips brought Joel Gray. I thought they asked the day before could they bring him. I had said another place, but he's so nice and he's such a talent. You all know who Joel Gray is, the musical, the fabulous singing actor. Cabaret is, I guess, his most famous movie. And
So would you say this is an easy crust because there's no rolling or...
Look, now, do you I can talk and I can dance and I can do everything and make a crust all at the same time.
There you go.
And that's so easy. And so that goes right into the oven. That's at 350 degrees until it's like a golden brown.
Yeah.
About how many minutes? 18 minutes? Yeah.
It bakes for about 18 minutes. But it does help to chill it first because it
Oh,
will
yeah,
keep
chill
the
this for
shape.
20 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, look, that's so
This is
beautiful.
nice and brown.
Okay.
I'll put this in the fridge.
That Kerrygold cheddar cheese. I'm having another piece. Oh, so good. Please talk so I can eat this cheese. Okay, talk about the filling.
The
I
filling.
know you were going to make a filling, but what are some alternate fillings as you're making that you could use for this type of crust?
Well, I mean, you could do anything in this crust. I mean, you could put a lemon curd filling in here. You could put pudding filling into the tart shell. But this is really great. This lemon filling could also be changed up slightly to use other citrus juices, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So it's eggs.
Egg yolks. Yep.
Lemon juice or lime juice or sour orange juice. And so we only want the yolks, right?
Yes, just the yolks. 4 yolks.
And so always use these brand clean plastic container to save your egg whites. I have a lot of egg whites left over from Easter. I didn't make pavlova.
Oh. Well, you can freeze them as well.
Oh, I did. I froze all my egg whites.
I don't think I feel like people don't know that. If you have extra egg whites on hand, you could certainly put them in into a deli container like this.
And mark on the top how many egg whites are in the container.
Yes.
There.
So Tina wants to know, what's the first thing you ever baked?
Well, my mother was such a baker. I baked everything she baked. I have no idea what the first thing was, though. That's a rather long time ago. Do you remember what you baked first?
I mean, I feel like I started off with chocolate chip cookies or something like that, but...
I started off with much more elaborate.
Martha made a croquembouche.
Babka or Stollen or bread. I remember Mr. Mouse next door. He was the one who taught me how to bake with my mother. Look at those gorgeous eggs. So whisk these together.
Yes.
This is about the easiest filling you will ever make. How much juice?
It's a half a cup of lemon juice. But again, you could use lime juice. You could use...
No zest?
Grapefruit juice. Not for this recipe, but you could add in zest for extra flavor.
so good. So
and then the favorite ingredient
I
here.
got my crust darker than that.
You went even further?
Yeah, I did. I like them when they're darker. They look really pretty with the pie filling.
And also it probably gives a nuttier, richer flavor.
And a whole 14-ounce can of condensed milk, sweetened condensed milk.
And why are you using condensed milk? Well,
this is the recipe for it's like a key lime pie filling, and it's very, very delicious. And this is look at that. This is my favorite thing. I think I've said it already that I do not keep this in the refrigerator. Any leftover, it goes right away. I have to send it away because I will eat it. It is very tasty. And so nice. And that's it. That's the filling.
Oh, our cookies are done.
Oh, they are? Here,
yep.
Take that. I'll use this.
Okay.
Stir that together. So this is a nice tart filling. Despite the sweetness of the condensed milk, the lemon juice does counteract.
Can I get a shot of that?
Oh, wow. Those look so great. And so you're filling. Now notice I have the tart shell on a rack in a baking sheet. That's the way I prefer.
And the lemon, someone was asking, the lemon juice doesn't curdle the eggs?
No, it doesn't curdle the eggs or the condensed milk. It helps thicken it. So great. Okay, so is the oven at the right temperature, 350?
Yep, you can go right into these ovens again.
Okay.
So Debbie wants to know, do you like this crust over a graham cracker crust?
Well, it's so different and it is so enticing with the lemon filling. You will want to make this crust again once you taste this. So then just sort of shake this a little bit. It doesn't matter that it has a few bubbles in it because this is going to be covered with whipped cream. There. Or you could also do a meringue on top. Okay. So we have, oh, this is fantastic.
Very hot.
They are very hot. Okay, now, do we have a baked pie or not?
Yes, it's in the refrigerator.
Oh, okay. I'll get it out.
Would you have added lemon zest to that, or?
Oh, you could. You could add lemon zest, but this is a very creamy, simple pie. So zest the lemon if you'd like. Use a very fine grater. And there's a little gilding of the lily to happen now. The cream is almost thick.
I don't know if we sweetened it. I don't think we sweetened it, so see if it needs a little bit.
Definitely.
Using regular sugar or powdered sugar?
No, I'm using powdered sugar, 10X, or confectioner's sugar. And you can whisk this by hand. If you have an egg beater, it goes a little faster.
Let me get the serving pot.
It's very hot in this kitchen. Can somebody open the window?
So Sammy wants to know, do you need a wire cooling rack for most cookies?
I suggest getting yourself a slew of these racks. It's so handy, and you can put hot pans right on top of any delicate surface. It will not blister your butcher block. It will not melt your corian. It won't burn anything. It's very important to have those racks. It's just part of the batterie de cuisine of... I'm going to add a little bit more sugar. See, I would put this through a strainer. Do you have a strainer?
So does this filling rise, or this stays as the same?
Did you find one?
No, there might be one.
Okay.
So will the filling rise?
Oh no, there's nothing to make it rise. No, it's pretty much the same as it was when it went in.
Ryan wants to know, are you self-taught, your mom, or cooking school?
Oh, it's such a big one.
Yeah.
Am I? Or is he talking to me or to Thomas?
For you, Martha.
Thomas went to cooking school.
I did.
I'm self-taught. I would love to go to cooking school, but I really, really, really am going to go work in a restaurant one of these days.
Which restaurant? I want to know which one.
Let me see. I have to go to a restaurant then. First, I'm going to start in Japan. And I know how to make sushi already, but I would like to learn how to bake the Japanese way or the Korean way. They're taking French recipes and changing them really substantially.
Yeah, no, with different ingredients.
Yes,
they're taking the techniques, but changing the ingredients.
Would you add vanilla to this?
And what kind of cream is this? It's taking a very long time to whip. Huh? Do we know what kind it is?
I think it's Horizon. It's an organic cream.
Yes, and when you're buying milk or cream and you really care about what your family's eating, buy organic milk. Very important. That's almost ready, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's good, right?
Okay, good.
Perfect.
So now we want to take our tart out of the ring. There. See how beautifully that came up? So don't do this while it's hot. Let it chill completely. And I took mine all off the bottom. You can.
Sure.
But I need a very fine spatula to do that. But for you could slide it off. But look how nice and rigid the crust is. Oops. Camera. You can use a pastry bag if you want to decorate the top. Do we have a pastry bag? Yeah.
You want us what type of tip?
It can be plain or round. Round. Let me see if I can get this off. You shouldn't fool around once it's on the... I'm going to leave it. But you can get it right off. I just don't want to make a mess and have to clean up the entire cake stand. How do you like this cake stand? Isn't it beautiful? It's ours at Macy's.
Would
So
you
beautiful.
add vanilla to the cream to sweeten it a little bit more?
No, because we're going to add another secret ingredient. Salt, flaked salt, sea salt. Just a little bit on top of the whipped cream. It really adds that little je ne sais quoi to the tart. Thomas is getting me a pastry bag. Any other questions?
Is it better to make your own or store-bought cream?
What's store-bought cream? Is there such a thing? Like ready whip?
Yeah.
Oh, please.
Okay, Mary wants to know, what ice cream would you serve with this pie if you were to serve one, if you weren't doing the...
You could just serve buttermilk ice cream with it, which would be very nice. Vanilla ice cream. Oh, yeah, I think of... Okay, that's good. Thank you. We have everything here.
We do.
It's a little further away than if it were in my home, right?
Yeah.
You can doll up the cream right on, but I think it's so nice to make it fancier.
If you don't have a pastry bag, what's another option if you wanted to...
You can make a pastry bag out of parchment paper. Or you can keep a bunch of these in your drawer. These are disposable pastry bags. You can get those at the cake decorating store.
Yeah, I mean, you can buy anything online these days, and these come in packs of
Michael's
like 100.
Michael's has all that Wilton stuff.
Yeah.
Macy's has all our stuff. Yeah, you should really be able to find this stuff. The reason I turned down the top collar is so that you don't get the top of the bag all full of cream. I love whipped cream.
Going back to the cake, how long did it bake for and what temperature?
350 for, was that 18 minutes?
With it with for 18. The filling bakes for about 15 until it's set in the center.
See, then you... And so you can start in the middle. And then this can be chilled again. But you can see why people gravitate towards this dessert. It's so pretty. And when it's sliced, it's even prettier, because you can see what it's all about.
Sarah wants to know, how far ahead can you make this tart?
Yesterday for today. But to tell you the truth, it's also very good 2 days later. After Easter, oh boy. Although there was nothing left, I had nothing. So that's just about the right amount of cream. How much cream is that? 1 cup or 2 cups?
It was about like 1.5 cups whipped.
I don't like that one. This one doesn't make me happy. It's a broken tip. And there is your Atlantic Beach Tart. Pretty nice. Should we cut it?
Yeah.
Okay. So. Yes, I need a damp cloth. So when you're cutting with cream or anything like that, a damp cloth, warm cloth would benefit the looks of your slice. Oops. I hate to waste all that beautiful cream.
Linda wants to know, is it a good idea to chill your bowl and whip before whipping your cream?
It's a good idea, definitely. So look at that. Pretty nice, don't you think? Here, Thomas, that's for you.
All right.
Everyone's asking where they can find all these recipes.
Oh, go right. Are they online yet?
I think they are online.
Okay.
These 2 recipes for sure.
Yeah, and then don't forget to watch Martha Bakes Season 6 this weekend on PBS. Check your local listings for the right time. And enjoy everything that you see on Martha Bakes. And I just want to thank very much our sponsors for Martha Bakes, Kerrygold Butter, Domino Sugar, and Bob's Red Mill. You've been great friends, and I hope you love our recipes using your ingredients. I'm going to eat this whole piece.
All right, me too.